The city of Oswego, often referred to as the Port City, is currently grappling with one of the most intense winter weather events in recent history. A relentless barrage of lake-effect snow has transformed the region into a frozen landscape, prompting local officials to declare a state of emergency as snow accumulation nears historic levels. Since Sunday, January 25, 2026, a persistent weather pattern has locked Oswego and the surrounding Tug Hill plateau in the crosshairs of a massive lake-effect engine. Cold Arctic air streaming over the relatively warm waters of Lake Ontario has created a nuclear snow band. This phenomenon has resulted in staggering snowfall rates, with meteorologists reporting up to 3 to 5 inches of snow per hour at the peak of the storm. As of Saturday, January 31, 2026, the city has recorded approximately 44.6 inches, nearly 4 feet, of snow this week alone. The heaviest hit days were Monday, which saw 12.4 inches, and Thursday, which brought an additional 17.2 inches. On Thursday, January 29, 2026, Mayor's office officially declared a state of emergency. This declaration remains in effect as city crews, supplemented by New York State Department of Transportation, NYSDOT, and county resources, struggle to clear arterial roads and side streets. Officials have issued a no unnecessary travel advisory. Visibility has frequently dropped to near zero, making driving extremely hazardous. All city offices were closed on Thursday, and SUNY Oswego has transitioned to remote learning for several consecutive days to ensure the safety of students and staff. Residents are urged to keep vehicles off the streets to allow snowplows to operate. The Oswego County Government has warned that emergency resources are being strained by the volume of calls and the physical difficulty of navigating the snow-clogged streets. For the residents of Oswego, this winter has been a test of resilience. Images shared by the NYSDOT show snowbanks towering over equipment operators, with some drifts reaching heights of 6 to 10 feet. "It's absolutely nuclear out here," noted one resident in the northern part of the county. Longtime residents have begun comparing this week's storm to the legendary blizzard of '66, which is celebrating its 60th anniversary this very weekend. While the current event hasn't yet reached the 102-inch total of the 1966 storm, the intensity and consistency of the snowfall have made it one for the record books. Oswego is no stranger to snow, but the 2025 to 26 season has been particularly brutal. Total seasonal snowfall for Oswego now stands at 102.9 inches, though it still trails nearby Mexico, New York, 136.1 inches, and the village of Cattaraugus, 162 inches. The geographic positioning of Oswego makes it a prime target. Unlike Syracuse, which often receives snow from northwest winds, Oswego gets buried when winds shift to the west, traveling the full length of Lake Ontario and picking up maximum moisture before dumping it on the shoreline. According to the National Weather Service, NWS, while the most intense lake effect bands are expected to weaken by Saturday evening, the danger is far from over. A cold weather advisory is in place as temperatures are expected to plummet. Overnight lows on Saturday and Sunday are forecasted to drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, with wind chills making it feel even more dangerous. Health officials are warning against the risks of frostbite and hypothermia. Furthermore, residents clearing snow are advised to take frequent breaks to avoid heart-related issues, a common cause of death during such massive winter events. As the city begins the slow process of digging out, the primary focus remains on clearing primary emergency routes and ensuring the safety of vulnerable residents. The state of emergency will remain in effect until the city of Oswego officially rescinds it, pending further weather developments. Meanwhile, the City of Watertown and the surrounding Jefferson County region are currently facing a meteorological crisis of historic proportions. A relentless lake-effect engine, fueled by the moisture of Lake Ontario, has dumped several feet of snow over the past week, forcing a complete standstill of daily life and triggering a massive emergency response from state and local authorities. Since Monday, January 26, 2026, A stable atmospheric pattern has funneled Arctic air across the unfrozen, relatively warm waters of Lake Ontario. This long-fetch wind alignment has created a concentrated, stationary band of heavy snow aimed directly at the Tug Hill Plateau and the City of Watertown. Data from the National Weather Service Buffalo office indicates that snowfall rates reached a staggering 4 to 6 inches per hour during the peak of the storm on Wednesday and Thursday. As of today, January 31st, 2026, Watertown has recorded a cumulative weekly total of 52.8 inches, with some surrounding rural areas reporting drifts as high as 12 feet. In response to the deteriorating conditions, the Jefferson County Government declared a countywide state of emergency earlier this week. The order includes a strict Level 3 travel ban, meaning all non-emergency vehicles are prohibited from the roads to allow snow removal crews to operate. Interstates and major routes, including sections of I-81, have seen intermittent closures due to whiteout conditions, where visibility dropped to 0. While the snow is light and powdery, typical of lake effect, the sheer volume has led to isolated power outages caused by equipment failure and the difficulty of utility crews reaching remote substations. The Watertown City School District and Jefferson Community College, JCC, have remained closed for 5 consecutive days. The snow belt is accustomed to winter weather, but the intensity of this event has tested even the most seasoned residents. Local businesses in downtown Watertown have been shuttered, and the Fort Drum Army Base, located just outside the city, has limited operations to essential personnel only to minimize traffic on hazardous local roads. The New York State Department of Transportation, NYSDOT, has deployed specialized snowblowers and front-end loaders from as far away as Long Island and New York City to assist the local fleet. These machines are essential for benching snow, moving the massive piles back from the shoulders of the road to make room for the next wave of precipitation. Despite the hazards, the spirit of the North Country remains resilient. Neighbors have been utilizing snowmobiles to deliver groceries and medicine to the elderly who are trapped in their homes. At the Samaritan Medical Center in Watertown, staff members have been working double shifts, with some sleeping in empty patient rooms because they are unable to commute home through the snowdrifts. This isn't just a storm, it's a marathon, said a spokesperson for the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. We are seeing snow totals that rival the great storms of the late 90s. Our priority is life safety and keeping the primary medical routes open. The forecast from AccuWeather suggests that while the heaviest bands may shift slightly south toward Oswego, Watertown will remain under a lake-effect snow warning through Sunday. Following the snow, a polar vortex shift is expected to bring temperatures down to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, -23 degrees Celsius, with wind chills reaching dangerous levels of -30 degrees Fahrenheit. This poses a severe risk of frostbite for anyone attempting to shovel or clear roofs. Engineers are warning residents to monitor the snow load on their roofs. With nearly 5 feet of accumulation, the weight on older structures is approaching critical levels. As the 2025 to 2026 winter season continues, Watertown has already surpassed its average annual snowfall of 110 inches. With 2 months of winter still ahead, meteorologists predict this could be one of the top 5 snowiest seasons in the city's history. The New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services continues to monitor the situation, coordinating with Governor Kathy Hochul's office to ensure that state resources remain available for the duration of the recovery. Meanwhile, in what meteorologists are calling a once-in-a-generation atmospheric event, New York City and the surrounding tri-state area have been brought to a grinding halt by a massive nor'easter. The storm, which intensified with terrifying speed over the Atlantic, has blanketed the 5 boroughs in a thick, immobilizing layer of snow, forcing the city that never sleeps into an unprecedented state of hibernation. The crisis began late Tuesday, January 27, 2026, when a low-pressure system from the Gulf of Mexico collided with an Arctic high-pressure cell descending from Canada. This collision created a bomb cyclone effect, where the barometric pressure dropped rapidly, fueling intense winds and heavy precipitation. By Wednesday morning, New York City was in the bullseye of the storm. According to the National Weather Service, NWS New York, snowfall rates reached a peak of 4 inches per hour in Central Park. As of Saturday evening, January 31st, the official accumulation in Manhattan stands at 28.4 inches, while parts of Queens and the Bronx have reported upwards of 32 inches, eclipsing the historic 2016 blizzard records. Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Mayor's office took the drastic step of declaring a state of emergency early Wednesday. This declaration triggered a series of emergency protocols designed to save lives and clear the path for essential services. A total ban on non-emergency vehicles was implemented across all city bridges and tunnels. The MTA, Metropolitan Transportation Authority, suspended all above-ground subway service and bus routes, leaving the city's underground tunnels as the only and heavily limited mode of transport for essential workers. John F. Kennedy, JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark Liberty International airports have seen over 4,500 flight cancellations. Thousands of travelers remain stranded in terminals as runways are cleared, only to be covered again by the blowing snow. The NYC Department of Sanitation, DSNY, has deployed over 2,000 plow trucks and 500 salt spreaders. Despite their efforts, the sheer volume of snow, combined with 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, has made keeping primary arteries open an uphill battle. The economic heartbeat of New York, Wall Street, saw its physical operations dampened, though digital trading continued. However, the true impact is felt on the streets. Broadway theaters have gone dark, and the normally bustling Times Square has become a surreal, silent white canyon. "It's hauntingly beautiful but incredibly dangerous," said one resident in Brooklyn's Park Slope. "You can't see more than 10 feet in front of you. The wind makes the cold feel like it's cutting through your skin." The New York City Department of Education transitioned to remote learning days for the city's 1.1 million students. While the city hoped to avoid total school closures, the severity of power flickers and the need for families to focus on safety made physical attendance impossible. As the snow subsides, a new threat emerges: the deep freeze. Arctic air following the storm is expected to send temperatures plummeting to near-record lows. The NYC Department of Health has issued a Code Blue alert, intensifying outreach to the city's homeless population to ensure everyone has access to warm shelters. Health officials are also warning of the silent killer of winter storms: heart attacks from shoveling. The heavy wet nature of this particular snowfall, locally dubbed heart attack snow, poses a severe risk to older New Yorkers. Furthermore, the New York City Fire Department, FDNY, has urged residents to check on their neighbors and ensure that heating systems are vented properly to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning, which often spikes during such outages. While the city center is reeling, the suburbs are facing an even deeper struggle. Long Island and Westchester County have seen massive power outages as heavy snow and high winds brought down trees and power lines. PSEG Long Island and Con Edison crews have been working around the clock, though deep snow is preventing bucket trucks from reaching many residential streets. In the Hudson Valley, snow totals have surpassed 3 feet, isolating rural communities and requiring National Guard intervention to deliver food and medical supplies to those stranded without power or heat.
Here's to day 3 of being snowed in upstate New York.